What's up? Oh gosh, so y'all saw everything. Yes. So I'm not gonna sit there and tell lies or anything else like that. If you don't know, I am still working and I teach, but I have to work on a different video. That is not why I'm here. I am here because I've had a couple people ask the question, and I actually recorded a beautiful video for you guys that was like 40 minutes long, had all the details in it and everything. And that's a little too much like um didn't come out. It did not come out. It did not there was no sound on it. So I'm having to do some technical difficulties. But I wanted to talk through this authentic journey I had on how I got here. So a lot of people are always like, "Oh, how did you come to Rwanda?" And what I've noticed is that the longer I hear, sometimes I short the story or I just kind of nip things in the bud. But um, I do think the story has a lot of merit and meaning to it. If I get to talk to you just like sitting here with tea and just shooting the breeze, and you can listen or you can leave, not a stress, your choice. But I do think that there is something to be said for people who are like me, looking for me stories, you know. So I will say, I'm going to start at the beginning, you know, once upon a time in the neighborhood type beginning. But the story is J Essence is in Rwanda. How did this come to be? And I think I wish I could sit there and tell you I was a child who always knew she was going back to Africa. I don't know. It became weird. I do believe the Africa bug started to ring into my heart, or like curiosity. Um, College, Florida Agricultural Mechanical University. And I say that because I don't really remember when I was introduced to Africa. And that's because I grew up at Langston University, which I am surrounded by HBCUisms. I'm surrounded by professors who are all that around. And then I actually grew up at Langston, but went to school in Florida. I'm giving y'all all the business. And so because of Langston, I knew about Black excellence. And I think I knew that our excellence did not stem or start in America. It started in other places. But I was also a kid. So like I'm half listening to stories, half doing things, you know. So I know about my history and everything. What happened is at Florida A&M, this is such a bad story that I'm going to tell the truth about. We had an SGA president. I'm not saying names. We had an SGA president who I think it was the second term. And like, I think that was my freshman year. So I didn't know too much. And like, dude was up missing. And what the rumor was, so it was like this whole scandal. So like, I basically learned about this whole scandal. But the rumor was that he went back to Africa on us in the middle of his student body, not election, but like his reign. And like he had dipped out on us and was not doing duties. Like it was like, I don't even know you could call him in, because that's when we first got beepers and stuff. And so they were trying to evict him from his office and stuff. And like it was this big deal that the night that he was supposed to be going up against the court case, he rolled up all of a sudden. I don't know. But I was just like, dude was gone for 3 months. And everybody had said he had moved to Africa. So like that was funny in a sense where it was like, yo, people actually do this? What? Okay, so I do remember college was like the introduction. Now, this is what I will say. As much as I was curious about the continent, I didn't ever know how to get there. So I think there was always a part of me that spoke about, yeah, I want to visit Africa. Yeah, I want to do this, or yeah, I want to go do these things, but I didn't know. So disclaimer, or now message, I'm telling anybody who's listening, if you have kids or whatever, let them be a part of the part, you know, part of college where you travel abroad or you study someplace overseas or you do a semester someplace or you intern or you do something, because that is one of the easiest ways to tour and do something, get credit, get credentials, and go places. and be exposed to something else. And like, I didn't do that. I really did kind of work my way through college. Um, I didn't breathe. I did do extracurricular activities. I did do some stuff, but I didn't really breathe. And one thing I really do regret, if people have to ask me, one of my maybe top tens is that I didn't take time to walk into offices that could have benefited me for the long run. I didn't really take time to go to like the career, the career office or the counseling office, or like the, speak a language abroad, like the abroad office. It's like there's these little offices that really do stuff and have great programs, but I didn't walk into those offices, and those offices would have been great gateways. So while the entire time I think I was having this curiosity, I was so busy living in the now and not knowing how to think about future. So I never really knew how to make it happen. So you get from college and then you graduate and you become a real adult. And so in that piece, I'm kind of just going through my head. I was more so like getting stuck in figuring out adulthood. Getting stuck in like, okay, you have bills. Okay, I'm going to pay bills. Okay, I have rent. I have to pay rent. Okay, I got to get promoted. How do I get promoted? Like, I got to study hard. I got to. So I was so busy adulting once again. I didn't, because like I'm one of those people that I did not go to Costa Rica when I was a kid. I didn't go to Jamaica. I wasn't out on the, like, even in college, like I didn't do those type of trips with friends. I didn't blow the net check. I was so busy just trying to be responsible. So I will say authentically, I got caught up in, because I was a teacher, like teaching, being the best teacher, going to PDs, doing all of these things, and trying to be here and plan. Okay, well, I'm off for the summer, so I'm going to plan for the next summer what activities we're going to do. Reading books and all that other stuff. I was just so consumed into working that while I wanted to do these things and travel, and I saw pictures and stuff, I really didn't. I'm so grateful for my girlfriend who used to threaten my life, like, you're going to do this. And she would sign me up for stuff because she knows that I'm not going to back out my work. So she would sign me up for stuff. And that's how I went and visited Brazil. That's how I went to do all these other things, because I was like, yo, I got to go. All that to say, like 2008, this opportunity came through family friend, whatever, for me to go to Liberia. And I was like, damn, this is it. I just knew, like, the ancestors heard my cries, whatever. I am moving to Liberia. I was so knowing that this was it. Like, there was this dude who we was a we like that nobody knew, right? But we was weeing, right? And so then we was weeing, then we was not weeing. Y'all know what happened, right? And so while we was friends, like, we had always talked about, oh, we're going to the motherland, we're going to do the, all this other stuff. So when I got my ticket, I called up, I'll be moving to Africa. And like, I got to hear all that, like, oh my God, like, I'm digging it in. Because I'm that chick that said I was going to do this and I'm going to do this, and you just in Florida rolling around with one of your pinky toes missing. We're not going to talk about that. And so, so I was offered the chance 2008, and I was actually finishing up my master's. So I crammed my last semester. Like, I had to finish my last semester. Like, everybody had like 12 weeks. I finished my last semester in 6 weeks, pre-did all the work, went through my portfolio review and everything so I could go to Africa. And I missed my graduation. Like, I was in Liberia for my graduation. I did not walk. I didn't do any of those things because I was in Liberia, and I moved to Liberia. And this is one of the reasons why I do my cousin connection now. And I talk to people, because while I went to Africa, I did not know. It was two things. One, I did not know the right kind of questions to ask. And two, I honestly took for granted relationships and Blackness. So let me go into one. One is, I was offered a $500 USD a month salary. And I was also told, yeah, like you're getting paid like a local, you're da 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 da. That's great. You do this, we get you flight ticket, all this other stuff. And so now in hindsight, now that I see how this life is, now that I know these things, that was bogus, that was BS, that was wrong, that was dead wrong. And y'all like worked on a young girl who was just eager to be in the motherland. And there's no way, I tell you now, there's no way. People say, oh, I want to live like a local. You can want to live like a local, you're not a local. And that was one of my things. Like I stuck out as a sore thumb. And like even my homeboys at the time were like, yo, you can try to act like you Liberian. Dude, we know you're not. Like the way that you walk, the way that you present yourself, like you don't say anything and we know you're a foreigner. And because of that, I'm hit with foreigner prices. I'm hit with like everything was foreigner. Everything was foreign. So my question was, or what I should have realized is, why, if I'm going to be treated like a foreigner, am I being paid like a local? Because I'm not privy to those type of things. I'm not privy to that lifestyle. And even if people turn around and do this and hustle and all this stuff, like I have to hustle that. And then there's another piece of like learning, exporting taxes, like Raisin Bran, then 2008 in Liberia was $12. And not that I was like in love with Raisin Bran, but I was like, yo, like a sister just wanted some crunch. Like I just wanted to put some milk on something and crunch. No, no, eggs and oatmeal, child. And so the very first piece was that was kind of part of the problematic situation. There were some other big problematic situations, but I tell people I don't talk about Liberia like that. One of the other pieces is, and this is where what guides my work with My Cousin Connection, is that I believed in the relationship of Blackness, which means that if we are African American, I'll say it, we come from a similar understanding of our history. And so it's the head nod. It's the, when you walk into a building and you're there and I'm there, we're the only two Black people there. It's like, I see you, we keep going. Like it's that secret code of looking out. So if somebody's coming to a different country and I'm holding your hand, I'm literally holding your hand, there is an expectation and assumption that you're looking out for me like I would have looked out for you. And that's not the case at all. Even out here, that's not the case. We assume, because we come from similar stories, that people are really there. People are people are either there for themselves, or people are delusional, or so you do get some family members, but you can't assume it. And so in my case with Liberia, I had really just thought, like, I just went into that thing naive. And so a lot of the people who I trusted, who had my background, were people who did not look out for the best interest of me. I'm not going to sit there and say that they were out to get me. I'm not going to say they were haters. I'm just going to say that they let me down in some serious ways. And it was a big lesson on learning about people. And I ran away. I ran away from Liberia. I tell people all the time, like, yo, I did like 72-hour dip. 72-hour. I ran. And not that I ran away from Liberia, I ran away from that situation. Like, nobody can hold me down, hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. And yeah, I just felt like there was this little slimmer of space that I could get out and not burn relationships and burn things. Like I completed tasks, and there was this little sliver of space, and I dipped out on that space, and it was bad. And I'm going to say how bad it was. It was so bad. Well, first of all, like, it was in the middle of the night. Shout out to Ron, because I'm going to shout him out. You know, I wish I could find him. If you're watching, text me. I still, that's my homeboy. He helped me out. Like, he picked me up. It was 11:15 p.m. and I had my bags and suitcases in the car. He dropped me off, and I'm at the airport. And I was like, yo, I changed my ticket. I'm ready to go home. And they're like, yeah, no problem, people. And I showed my ID and stuff, ready to get on the plane. They were like, yo, your bags are overweight. I was like, bet, that's cool. Them things happen. Here's a credit card, run it through. We ain't got no credit card machine. All right, cool. I can see how that can happen. We in Liberia, things like that happen. Um, just show me the ATM so I can just pull out this cash. Oh, there ain't no ATM. In the whole airport, ain't no ATM. So you are a functioning business with no means to run credit card, get cash. So let's do it like this, because I'm a solver. Like, how about, since this is a international airline, I was not flying out on Get Me Home Airlines. I was flying out on a name brand airline. Like, how about you just bill me? And when I land, I swipe my card then. Oh, we can't do that. So I want to get on that plane that's leaving in 30 minutes. And these are my suitcases. And you're not going to let me take my suitcases. No, ma'am, because they're overweight. I went ballistic. And I didn't go ballistic like the way you think. You thought I was going to be like, oh, pop, 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 pop. I didn't. I went right there, opened up my suitcase, and just started throwing clothes at people. Just take it. Like, I felt like I'm only walking out with Liberia. Like, I have this big life experience that I'm running away from. I'm already emotionally scarred. And then I'm just trying to take me some outfits and fabrics and stuff. And then y'all telling me I can't do that either. So I was tossing. Tossing clothes, drawers, socks, everything, tossing them all in the airport lobby until my bag weighed whatever it needed to weigh. And then I walked off and they were like, ma'am, the clothes. And I was like, it's enough starving children in Africa. Cut up the fabrics. It was bad. It was bad. It was pre. Was it pre 9/11? No, it was post. God, I'm trying to remember how old I am. Yeah, it was post 9/11. But I mean, it was bad. So, and then I got on a plane, and then I had to ask my family, I asked my mom, when she's reasons why, when you ask her, she was like, yo, oh, my child, why is she in Africa? Because the first time when I came back, I needed 10 days by myself. Like, not 10 days, just no, I was truly detoxing, and I knew I emotionally could not be around anyone. I did feel like a failure because everything that I had talked about, like I was supposed to come back with Princess Zamunda, I was supposed to come back, such and such a school. I was working and teaching out there. Like, I was getting all the resume credentials to be like, oh my God, she worked in Africa and Liberia with the so-and-so. Oh my God. And it was just like, no, I saw a lot of things. Okay, let me take that back. I don't want y'all to think I'm crazy. I did not see like things in Africa like mutilation, like the stuff that y'all would go to. No, I saw us hurting us. Like, a lot of my dreams were dashed. And I wasn't in a safe ground. I wasn't in safe spaces. Except for Ron, Jim, Dennis. It was a couple people. Like, those were safe spaces, but they weren't mine. Like, I didn't have a space to detox and go through my mental and figure out things. And you do that here. You will go through your own mental and have that. That's why I say Rwanda gives me space and I love it. But yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into Liberia, but Liberia did have a lasting impact on me. Like, I remember when I came back, I didn't water stuff, which people are like, what is that supposed to do? Because I'll just be honest. I remember going to the bush. They call it bush out here. We call it village here. But I was out in the bush and it was like a fresh rain. And I saw a mother with her kids and they were washing clothes in a puddle. And and then it triggered me a certain type of way to come here, and we were just watering lawns. So like, I remember I was really not big on watering or like wasting water. I was just really not big on wasting water. But what happened is, like, a lot of my charities that I work with were water campaigns. And that it was a couple, it was a couple of things that really just, the way I prayed, that was a big one. Because in Liberia, when I was at the church there, I knew a lot of the church people. And I had never in my life seen people who had absolutely nothing come to church and praise God and not ask for nothing. And then I'm sitting there like, okay, at the time, we Creflo Dollar churching and, and asking for stuff. And like, so it was just like, man, it was a lot of mental changes that happened that I was grateful for after I did my 10-day detox, like all this other stuff. So, man, yeah, I went through some stuff. Like, yeah, I was natural when I was out there. I came back, perm that stuff, slicked it with a crescent shit. Like, man, mohawk, like, And so, didn't get the urge. I don't want to say didn't get the urge, just came back and spent more time figuring out me and finding me. But I want to sit there and say this before I get into this next step. I was always good. I was always an accomplished person, always doing something. I think it was just more so of, I'll get into that. I'll get to where we got. So that was like around 2008, 2009. And there was a blessing in me coming back. And the blessing is that my father, not my father, Jesus God, my dad is okay. My grandfather got some diagnosis that was not good. And I was actually there because when I moved back, I actually moved back near him. He actually stayed with me for a while. And we actually had some great time. And I got to know him in a way I didn't know him as a granddaughter, like a young girl. I got to know him as a woman and just loved that man. And so it was a blessing in coming back. And so didn't really get the itch. I did apply for some jobs, but I didn't get the itch until, like, I want to say I hit 40-ish. And the itch was, I was trying to make everything right. I couldn't figure it out. Like, you okay? Who is this? Mama? Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up? You got me something. You're looking cute.
Thank you. Stuffed naan and chicken lollipops.
Oh. You did this?
No, I went to the restaurant.
Yeah, you was up. You look real good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, really good.
Okay.
Oh, this is real good.
That Indian restaurant, Dolly Bar Buffet. I have to ask the name of it.
Oh, it's real good.
It's tender.
It is so tender. This chicken had a good life.
Check that
had massages.
Stuffed
naan.
It's got a middle in it.
Oh, it does. It's onions.
Onions, carrots.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much cheese. Should I give you that?
Oh, that's real good. Thank you, Mama. Mm-hmm. That's so good. Oh gosh, that's some good chicken lollipops. Okay, so I'll get to the next part. So I think 40, 41 hit. And I was just like, I didn't check. I'll take that back. I didn't check off the boxes like husband, children, house, stabilized career. Like I had some good career stuff, but it wasn't long term. Like I had always been told you need to hunker down. And I wasn't hunkered. You country, you know that I wasn't hunkered. So I made like this mental plan and I'll sit there and tell people all the time, like, if you had lists like those lists of this is what I prayed for, God gave it to me. I made about 20 of them lists, whatever. And like I was doing all of the things, like I was into cruise, I did everything. And so what happened is that I just became hell-bent on this is what I'm going to do to succeed. And it was the husband, it was the house, it was the job and stuff. So really within this 90-day period, I made a plan. And I dated. I hate dating, so I talk about that a little. Like I always have been good, like on friends, and then let's build something. I've always been homie, loving friends, which like that, but like did. And so I picked wrong a dude. I picked a house wrong, and I picked all this other stuff. So now the thing is about the house. There was a godsend in that. Is that I was in the midst of buying the house. I had put down whatever I put down, escrow or whatever, and I went and got it appraised, and it appraised at a number so much lower than what I was paying for on it. And I just kind of was like, no. And I just remember I pulled the plug on that house, which actually 3 to 4 months later, when Hurricane, I forgot which hurricane it was, because Houston got hit with a bad hurricane. I was part of that, but the house I would have bought was in a flood zone. And the house that I had moved into, which I was only renting, was not. So there was like these things in it, but then the guy and all that other stuff. So what's happened is that I was on this fast track of trying to make things work. And like literally, the harder I held on, the more it crumbled. And so just found myself in such a bad position. And trying to figure out within myself, what was it about me that allowed me not to listen to me and listen to everyone else and put myself. That's the one thing I was accountable for. I had to be accountable that I put myself, I asked for these things and put these things in there. So in the midst of that is when I just needed to get away. Or it start trickling in, because let me go back. When I was in that situation, like I do feel like I was having panic attacks. I didn't know what they were at the time. I do feel like I fell into depression. Like I told somebody, like my Friday nights, I missed my Friday nights. My Friday nights were dark. It was like dark, like, and I was so good at wearing the mask that I would be good all week. And I would really wait until like 6 p.m. on Friday, and I would just be alone or just be up in a wall or crawl up in a ball, like, and be in my own space. And I would be there until like Saturday morning when I would smile and get back into it. And I was living for them Friday nights. I was living for being in a good space where I could be messed up, because I didn't feel like I could be messed up anywhere else. I was wearing the mask. And went and start seeing a counselor and had to quit because I didn't have enough money. Because like when I made these decisions, it really threw me out. And in the midst of all of this, knew I was going to Dubai, because I had to be 22. No, I don't forgot. It was really big, but me and my homegirl was going to Dubai. So here it is. Let me tell you, all of that mess, all of that life, like that's 10 years. No, it wasn't 10 years of depression. I take that back. That was not 10 years of depression. Like it all built up in that last year. When I went to Dubai, I heard a small voice. I was headed to the mosque. And, first of all, let me be honest with you. It took everything in my power to financially make this trip. Everything in my power to financially make this trip. And I really was in Dubai on like $400, like didn't have much of a lot. So I kind of was like at that point, yo, God, speak to a sister. Like it was kind of like, make this trip worth it. Because even then, like some people on the trip, they was tripping, not friends, the people who made the trip. Like it was a lot of, we were getting charged 3 times the rate for something just because we went with the travel agent. It was just like, y'all bogus. And when you ain't got no money, you start counting stuff. And that's me. And I don't like being that person on vacation. Like, so when we're headed to the mosque, I was sitting by myself, headed to the mosque. And I heard you could do this. And that's where I felt like God had kind of told me, you could work overseas. You could work overseas, internationally. And when I came back from Dubai, I started making moves quietly. I called my homeboy. He talked me through it. I looked at my teaching credentials and everything else like that. And I realized I was willing to give up the resume. I did not care about what position was on my resume. And I didn't care about that. I really cared mostly about being in a position where I could save myself and get a piece of this life I knew was out there. I just didn't know how to attain it. And so I started being quiet. I didn't start studying until Dubai. I started being quiet so I could have space to study. And I basically was invited to Kuwait first, and then talked to some people, whatever, and then was in Dubai. And so that's when I started my international career. However, like right before, like it was a mess. That was still a mess because like I didn't say anything when I finally made the announcement. I made the announcement. I was selling stuff. I was getting rid of stuff. I was gifting things. And I broke my whole foot, broke the whole foot to the point where it's like I was supposed to need surgery. And I was supposed to get surgery 2 days before my flight. And so me and my mom bonding moments, like she came down to take care of me for like 30 days because I had to stay off the foot completely in order not to have surgery. I was still working. Oh my God, it was such a bad thing. First of all, you do not understand the trauma of somebody who old and arthritis, trying to push a sister down in a wheelchair who's, okay, I'm big. It's not a good match. It's not a good match. Like I'm strong, independent, and thick in a wheelchair, refusing to believe that I'm half broken. And then my mama is small. Man, it was, whew, we've been through some things. We've been through some things. So, because I'll be honest with you, when the doctor told me I was clear, she left me that day. Not even night, that day. Went on Greyhound to get home. And I was kind of like, I feel some kind of way about this. She's like, you strong now and out. So that was the midst of me getting, so I wanted to say the whole broken foot, because what happened is when I broke my foot, like certain people are like, see, that's God telling you, you don't need to go. That's God telling you, you need to be here for your mama. That's God telling you this, that. And it was like, no, it's not. It was God telling me that I shouldn't have done, like I shouldn't have been trying to play basketball against no little 14-year-old in the first place. And when she crossed me up and she broke my ankle, she literally broke my ankle. That was God telling me I'm old and I needed muscle tone. But I will say that this one thing happened. Moving or trying to set yourself up for an international move is hard on your family. And you have to have honest conversations. And my conversation with my mom and now my dad were honest. And the truth of it was that I am not the daughter who I portray myself to be. I'm not who you have raised. I don't know what's happened. And the biggest issue is financially, if something happens to you, I can't handle it. And I would. And so I never wanted to be in a position where I resented taking care of my mom or taking care of my dad or taking care of my responsibilities. And I resented because I wasn't having enough money to make it all around. So I'm sacrificing in order to make you happy. And like it was just a bunch of real conversations, real tears. And then that's when I kind of got the blessing. And when I got to Dubai, I got to get to Rwanda. I'm going to tell you this. That's when we realized life could be different. Like it was just totally all like, oh my God, like this is what we're doing. And we call it normal and it's not. Like people leave work on time. But what happened is when I started, when I broke my foot, I didn't have anything but time. So I was watching stuff in Dubai and I was really seriously bent on if I get this financial chance. And I did. Salaries, remember when I told you you want to be paid like a local? No, you don't. My salary was different and I was able to actually save, pay off debt, but I was really strong with this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. I was not afraid to have those type of conversations anymore because I always thought talking about money made me feel like I was inefficient. So I started thinking about retirement and that was the truth. The truth is that no matter what, I couldn't figure out how to retire in America. Like I just could not figure out where happiness was in retirement for America. I just felt like there's so many people who I knew who retired, who went back into the workforce. And I didn't want to do that. One, I had worked hard enough. Y'all don't understand 20 years in education. I had busted my tail and worked hard enough. To put other people's kids over me. I was that type of teacher. Like I did so much. I just didn't know how to create a retirement life that was fulfilling. And that's when I started looking at Ghana. And Ghana was really checking off a lot of boxes for me, except for the fact of I felt like two things. I felt like I had to be on the ground to make Ghana work. And I wasn't ready to be on the ground. I wasn't ready to leave my job. I didn't have that much. So I didn't know how I could facilitate both. Number two, I really felt like that the women who I looked up to, who were really doing things in Ghana, were married to Ghanaians. And I just felt like having that Ghanaian mate opened up a door, and I didn't want to make a move for a mate. Like I just told you, I just went through drama with this last guy that I was with. I wasn't there. So while I was looking at Ghana, I was starting to have questions like, is this for me? And it seems like every move I tried to make there kind of backfired in a way, nothing too negative. And once I moved to Dubai is when I started hearing about Rwanda. Never heard about Rwanda in the States. Always just heard about it when I got to Dubai because people who had visited, would come back, and my homegirl friend was just telling me and raving about it and all kind of stuff. So that's when it came on my radar. And when it came on my radar, when I was looking at it for retirement purposes, I was like, yo, this really seems plausible. So it was, okay, now I was supposed to go when I was in Dubai, like my first big vacation, to Ghana. I had set up a 10-day trip to Ghana. And I'm going to give you another video about this. But 5 days before my trip, I had my near-death experience and was hospitalized and in surgery. So I had to cancel the Ghana trip. So then after that is when I had to go through some stuff in Dubai because of all of that. And then I got the new job. And so I had started making plans like, I'm going to go to Rwanda instead whenever I get this break, but COVID. And then I became open. Like, I did so much studying and learning and just changing my mindset and thoughts in different ways. And so what happened is there was a job opening in Rwanda, and I was like, and let me be honest with you, with the job that I did in Dubai, I kind of felt like it was, I didn't know it was time to go, but I think God told me it was time to go. I'm not going to get into too much of that, but there was a job opening in Rwanda, and I applied and I got it, and I was like, I'll do it. Like, there's no sense in me dreaming about a place or dreaming about something, and when that dream comes open, and I think that's what I was guilty of my whole life. Thank you for that opening. That I always made it make sense to say no. Like, I could always find a reason on why I should not do something. I need to wait my turn. I need to learn more about something. I could always find a way to not jump, and it would be okay. I could always find a way to not jump. And this time I was kind of like, no, I'll jump. Like, number one, the whole Liberia thing. Like, if I jump and I fumble, I know how to fix it. Like, that's the one thing you've proven to yourself after 40 years. You'll find a way. I can find a way. So I jumped and came to Rwanda. And Rwanda, honestly, for me, was a gift. Like, I feel like God really was kind of like, all those things you went through, job well done. And he gave me this, and he said, you could continue working, because like I said, I was working. You could continue working, or you can continue. And I say that, I'll say you continue paving the way, because I paved my way before. I just leaned so much on something. I don't think I believed in the ways that I paved. Like, I was doing my own business. I've written 4 books, technically now 6. I forgot. I just published 2 more. I did, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't want people to think I was so somebody else before J Essence. Like, I was fine. I could have had the obituary, everything done. Like, I could have had a period of being okay. It's just that Rwanda gave me so much more space to fall into those dreams that could be me. And that's just beautiful. It gave me space to be able to be authentically open. It took 40 years to figure it out. It didn't take 40 years to figure out. It took 22 years to figure out, like 10 years to lose it. And then I'm coming back. That's all it is. Whole full cycle. But I'm getting tired, so I'm not going to talk too much more. But that is the story of how I got to Rwanda. That is the story of me. That's the story of, like I said, Rhonda's a blessing. Rhonda's a gift for those who want to count. I guess I can count now. I am the CEO of My Cousin Connection. We are turning 1 year at the end of this month. And that has been such a journey. And I am the CEO of J Essence Enterprises, which is actually the holding company for a lot of the other businesses. I don't know what my position title is, but it's a new organization we have called 365 Rwanda, where if you go to the website, we tell you about upcoming events, restaurants, things to do, and just kind of helping you with that. And I absolutely love that part of me. I am the CEO, head pimp in charge of Hatima Farms and doing what we need to do with that. And I am still working, and I am blessed because, like I said, I don't know if people heard this, I actually love where I'm working now. I spent my time trying to be, doing a contract, but then I got a position I'm just ecstatic about. I look forward to actually logging in every day and doing what I do. I feel like I'm leaving some stuff. Oh, I just published coloring books. That's the big one it is. If you want to look at J Essence Designs on Amazon, Color Nigeria and Color Africa. And I'll be having some more coming out. I don't know. I'm auntie. I am niece. I am daughter. I am boss. That's my new one. Boss lady. I am a girl who can't keep red on her lips for lipstick. If anybody wants to bring lip bar, boss lady, please. That's my jam and I'm missing it. And then I am J Essence. I am hungry. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is so good. Oh my God, this makes no sense. Mm-mm. It's like this chicken was massaged. Okay. Friend, focus on. But I'll say that's pretty much the story of how I came to this place here. And there's so many more stories. I'm tired now and I got work to do, so I'll holler back. Bye.